Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new expressions you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, I screwed up. This slang expression is something you'll hear Americans say all the time when they make a mistake. I screwed up simply means I made a mistake or I messed up something. It's informal, so you can use it with friends, family, or in casual situations, but maybe not in a super formal business meeting with your boss. Let me tell you a story about when I used this expression just last week. I was supposed to pick up my friend from the airport at 3 in the afternoon, but I completely forgot about the time change. I showed up an hour late. When I finally got there, the first thing I said was, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I totally screwed up. I mixed up the time zones." For example, if you forget to turn in your homework on time, you might say, "I screwed up. I forgot the assignment was due today." You might hear something like, "I screwed up the recipe and now the cake tastes terrible." Here's another one. "I think I screwed up that job interview when I arrived 20 minutes late." This expression is really common because everyone makes mistakes, right? It's a simple way to admit you did something wrong without being too serious about it. Have you ever had a moment like this where you just had to admit you screwed up? Number 2, preaching to the choir. This idiom is one of my favorites because it's so visual when you think about it. Preaching to the choir means you're trying to convince someone who already agrees with you. It's like talking to people who are already on your side about something they already believe. Picture this. If a pastor is giving a sermon to the church choir about being good people, well, the choir members are already there at church, so they probably already believe what he's saying. That's where this idiom comes from. I remember using this expression when my friend kept telling me how important it is to exercise regularly. I go to the gym 5 times a week, so I said, "Sarah, you're preaching to the choir here. I completely agree with you about staying healthy." She was trying to convince someone who was already convinced. For example, if your friend who loves coffee keeps telling you how amazing coffee is, but you're already a huge coffee lover, you could say, "You're preaching to the choir. I drink 3 cups every morning." You might hear something like, "When you tell me that learning English is important, you're preaching to the choir because I study every single day." Let's take this one. "My mom keeps telling me I should eat more vegetables, but she's preaching to the choir since I'm already a vegetarian." This idiom is super useful when someone is trying to convince you of something you already believe. Do you think you could use this expression when someone tries to convince you about something you already agree with? Number 3, I've made up my mind. This expression means you have decided something and you're not going to change your decision. When someone says, I've made up my mind. They're telling you that they thought about it carefully and they know exactly what they want to do. I used this expression just yesterday when I was talking to my sister about vacation plans. She kept suggesting different places we could go, but I had already decided where I wanted to travel. Finally, I told her, "Listen, I really appreciate all your ideas, but I've made up my mind. I'm going to visit Japan this summer." You know what's interesting about this expression? When people say it, they usually sound pretty confident and determined. It shows that they're not confused or unsure anymore. For example, if your friend keeps asking what movie you want to see, you might say, "I've made up my mind. Let's watch that new comedy everyone's talking about." People often say, "I've made up my mind about changing jobs. I'm going to start looking for something new next month." Here's another one. "After thinking about it for weeks, I've made up my mind to learn Spanish this year." This expression is perfect when you want to show that you're confident about a decision. It's also a polite way to tell someone to stop giving you advice because you already know what you want to do. Have you ever had to tell someone you've made up your mind about something important? Number 4. No harm, no foul. This idiom comes from basketball, but now people use it in everyday life all the time. No harm, no foul means that if nothing bad actually happened, then there's no problem and no one should be upset or in trouble. In basketball, if a player touches another player but it doesn't affect the game, the referee might not call a foul. Similarly, in daily life, we use this expression when someone makes a small mistake, but nothing bad actually happens because of it. I remember when my neighbor accidentally parked in my parking spot last month. When I got home and saw his car there, I knocked on his door to let him know. He was so apologetic and started moving his car immediately. I told him, "Hey, don't worry about it. No harm, no foul, I can park on the street tonight." For example, if someone borrows your pen and forgets to return it, but you have other pens, you might say, "No harm, no foul. Just bring it back tomorrow." You might hear something like, "I know I was supposed to call you back yesterday, but since it wasn't urgent, no harm, no foul, right?" Imagine this. I accidentally opened your email thinking it was mine, but since I didn't read anything private, no harm, no foul. This idiom is great for showing forgiveness and keeping things light when someone makes a small mistake. It helps people relax and not worry too much about minor problems. When was the last time you could have used this expression with someone? Number 5. I owe you one. This idiom is such a friendly way to show gratitude. When someone says, "I owe you one," they mean, "Thank you so much for helping me, and I want to help you back in the future." It's like saying you're in their debt, but in a good way. People use this expression when someone does them a favor, and they want to show that they really appreciate it, and they'll remember to help that person later. Last week, my coworker stayed late to help me finish a big project when I was really stressed about the deadline. When we finally finished everything, I told her, "Thank you so much for staying to help me. I really owe you one. Next time you need anything, just let me know." For example, if your friend gives you a ride to the airport when your car breaks down, you might say, "Thanks for driving me. I owe you one." People often say, "You helped me move all my furniture last weekend. I definitely owe you one." Let's take this one. "I owe you one for covering my shift when I was sick." I'll do the same for you anytime. What I love about this idiom is that it shows you're a grateful person who remembers when people are kind to you. It also shows that you want to be helpful to others too. Have you ever felt like you owed someone one for helping you out? Number 6. It's not hygienic. This expression is pretty straightforward, but it's something native speakers say a lot, especially these days when people are more aware of cleanliness and health. It's not hygienic, simply means something is not clean or could make you sick. You'll hear this expression when people are talking about food safety, cleaning, or just general cleanliness. It's a polite way to say that something is dirty or unsafe without being too direct or rude about it. I used this expression just a few days ago when I was at a restaurant with my friend. The server brought us bread, but the basket looked like it hadn't been cleaned properly. I quietly said to my friend, "I don't think we should eat this bread. It's not hygienic. Look at those crumbs and stains on the basket." For example, if someone wants to share their drink with you but they're sick, you might say, "Thanks, but it's not hygienic to share drinks when you have a cold." You might hear something like, "Please don't touch the food with your hands. It's not hygienic." Here's another one. "That cutting board has raw chicken juice on it. It's not hygienic to use it for vegetables now." This expression is really useful because it helps you talk about cleanliness in a way that sounds educated and polite. Instead of saying "that's gross" or "that's dirty," you can say "it's not hygienic." Do you think you could use this expression when talking about cleanliness? Number 7. Unless I miss my guess. This idiom is a really interesting way to say "I think" or "I believe," but it sounds more confident and thoughtful. When someone says, "unless I miss my guess," they're saying they're pretty sure about something based on what they've observed or what they know. It's like saying, "I'm probably right about this, but I could be wrong." People use this expression when they want to make a prediction or share their opinion, but they want to sound humble at the same time. I remember using this expression last month when I was talking to my friend about her job interview. She had told me all about how well it went and how much the interviewer seemed to like her. I said, "Unless I miss my guess, you're going to get that job. Everything you told me sounds really positive." For example, if you see dark clouds in the sky, you might say, "Unless I miss my guess, it's going to rain this afternoon." People often say, "Unless I miss my guess, that new restaurant is going to be very popular. The food smells amazing." Imagine this. "Unless I miss my guess, our teacher is going to give us a quiz tomorrow. She always does that after we learn new material." This idiom makes you sound thoughtful and wise, like you're good at understanding situations and people. It's more interesting than just saying, "I think" all the time. Have you ever made a prediction that turned out to be right? You could have used this expression. Number 8, hope you feel better soon. This expression is probably one of the kindest and most common things you'll hear native English speakers say. We use "hope you feel better soon" when someone is sick, sad, or going through a difficult time. It's a simple way to show that you care about someone and want them to be happy and healthy again. What's beautiful about this expression is that it works for both physical sickness and emotional problems. You can use it when someone has a cold, a headache, or when they're dealing with stress or sadness. Just yesterday, my coworker told me she had been feeling really tired and had a bad headache all morning. Before she left work early, I said, "Take care of yourself and get some rest. Hope you feel better soon. Don't worry about anything here at the office." For example, if your friend texts you that they have the flu, you might reply, "Oh no. Hope you feel better soon. Let me know if you need anything." You might hear something like, "I heard your grandmother is in the hospital. Hope you feel better soon, and I hope she recovers quickly too." Let's take this one. "You seem really stressed about your exam tomorrow. Hope you feel better soon and that everything goes well." This expression shows that you're a caring person who pays attention to how others are feeling. It's one of those phrases that can really make someone's day a little brighter when they're not feeling their best. When was the last time someone said this to you, or when did you say it to someone else? Number 9, I didn't get you anything. This sentence might sound a little sad, but it's actually very common and usually not a big deal. I didn't get you anything means you didn't buy or bring a gift for someone. People often say this during birthdays, holidays, or special occasions when gifts are expected. Sometimes people feel a little embarrassed or sorry when they say this, but other times it's just a simple statement. The tone of voice makes a big difference in how this sentence sounds. I used this sentence at my friend's birthday party last weekend. I had been so busy with work that I completely forgot to buy her a present. When I arrived at the party and saw everyone else with wrapped gifts, I felt terrible. I went up to her and said, I'm so sorry, but I didn't get you anything. I've been so overwhelmed with work this week. But I promise I'll take you out for a nice dinner to celebrate. For example, if your coworker gets promoted and everyone is giving them cards, you might say, Congratulations. I didn't get you anything, but I wanted to tell you how happy I am for you. People often say, It's your anniversary today, isn't it? I'm sorry I didn't get you anything, but happy anniversary. Here's another one. I know it's your graduation, and I didn't get you anything yet, but I'm planning to buy you something special this weekend. This sentence is useful because it's honest and direct. Sometimes it's better to admit you didn't bring a gift rather than pretending or making excuses. Most people understand that life gets busy. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to say this to someone? Number 10. I've got it under control. This expression is all about confidence and reassurance. When someone says, I've got it under control, they mean they're handling a situation well and they don't need help. It's a way to tell others not to worry because everything is being managed properly. People use this expression when they want to show they're capable and responsible. It can also be a polite way to tell someone to stop worrying or stop trying to help when you don't need assistance. I remember using this expression last month when I was organizing a big family dinner. My mom kept calling me every day asking if I needed help with cooking, cleaning, or setting up. Finally, I told her, Mom, I really appreciate that you want to help, but I've got it under control. Everything is planned and ready. Just come and enjoy the dinner. For example, if your friend is worried about you being late for an appointment, you might say, Don't worry, I left early and I've got it under control. You might hear something like, I know the project seems complicated, but I've got it under control. It'll be finished on time. Imagine this. Yes, I'm cooking dinner for 12 people tonight, but I've got it under control. I've been preparing all day. This expression is great for showing confidence and making others feel relaxed about a situation. It tells people that you're competent and they can trust you to handle things well. Do you think you could use this expression when someone is worrying about something you're responsible for? Let me know in the comments which of these expressions you found most useful. I'd also love to hear about times when you could have used any of these in your own life. Let's recap what we learned today. We covered some really practical expressions that you'll definitely hear in everyday American English. We learned about I screwed up when you want to admit a mistake, preaching to the choir for when someone's trying to convince you of something you already believe, and I've made up my mind when you want to show you've decided something. We also talked about no harm, no foul for forgiving small mistakes. I owe you one for showing gratitude, and it's not hygienic for talking about cleanliness politely. Then we learned, unless I miss my guess for making confident predictions. Hope you feel better soon for showing you care. I didn't get you anything for being honest about gifts, and I've got it under control for showing confidence. These expressions will make your English sound much more natural and help you connect better with native speakers. Practice using them in your daily conversations, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we all learn. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos with common English expressions every day, so you'll always have something new to learn. Tomorrow, I'll be back with 10 more idioms, phrases, and sentences that native speakers use all the time. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your responses and hearing about how you're using these expressions in your own conversations. Take care and keep practicing your English. Remember, every day you study is a step closer to speaking like a native speaker. See you tomorrow.